Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My students in the last meeting, they have concern about how to understand the margin accounts. Okay, so today I'm trying to focus on details about margin accounts, and I will talk also about the short sell, the concept of short selling, the delivery of stocks to the investors, and if we have time, I will talk about the initial public offerings, IPOs. But I think we don't have time because I may leave at 9 or at 10 past 9. Anyway, look at this example. I will start from the very scratch of the concept of margin, what exactly mean. Okay? And why we are using margin accounts. Generally speaking, investors open either cash accounts or margin accounts. My question is, what is the difference between cash accounts and margin accounts? The cash accounts, it means the investors paid the full amount of the investment. For instance, if we have 100 shares, if the investor decides to buy 100 shares and at $10 price, so he has to pay $1,000. $1,000. So why we call this cash account? Because the investor paid $1,000 as a cash. This is why. But the investor has another option to use margin accounts. The dealer give facility to the investor by giving him or her loan. So the investor can lend the money or borrow money from the dealer. My question is, why the investor using the loan from the dealer?
Because if the price increase, it will increase the return.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I can guess he wants to say that to maximize the return on investments. Okay, which is right. Return on investment. So this is the main important or the main objective of the investor. If the investor wants to calculate the return on investment on the cash, the return on investment is $1,000. So this is the profit divided by $1,000. But in the margin account is the profit divided by the initial investment. Initial investment. Suppose for instance, if the margin is 60%, what it means 60%? It means the investor paid 60% of the total value of the shares. In this case, the total value is $1,000, so he or she paid $600. In this case, the profit or the income is divided by $600. If you look back at the cash account, we divided by $1,000. But if we look at the margin account, is divided by $600. So we have less amount of the investment invested in the margin account, which maximize the return on investment. But the problem is, the margin account is maximize the losing. So it has a problem because maximize return or maximize the lose or the loss. Okay? Look at this example in the Excel sheet. And I prefer to have your own calculator. If you don't have your calculator, it means you may face problems or challenges. The number of shares is 100 shares. The investor bought 100 shares. He bought the shares at $10. And he sold the shares at $14. If the investor paid no commission or no interest, things very, very simple. We don't have problems in doing this. Okay? For instance, the return on investments for the cash account and the return on investment for margin account is going like this. You remember the equation B1 minus B naught plus dividends divided by B naught. We can apply this equation for either the return on investment by using cash account or return on investment by using the margin account. Let's start by the cash. He sold at $14 times by 100, so we have 1,400. 1,400 minus 10 times 100, the buying price, which is $1,000, plus during the holding period of the stock, the investor received dividends. How much he received dividends? He received $100. So we add the $100. Now the question is, how much he invest? 1,000. Okay? Okay, so 1,400 minus 1,000 is 400 plus 100 divided, so it is 50%. Please do the calculation. Okay, apply the same equation for the margin account. Do it by yourself. And tell me the answer, please. Okay. 83.3. 83.3 percentage or percent. All students get the same results. All of them. Anyone has different answer? Anyone, please? No one. Are you sure? Okay then. So the 83%. Abu Hamza, leave them please. Okay. So 83%. So 83%. We have 1,400 minus 1,000 plus 100 divided 600. Why 600? Why 600? Because the initial investments paid by the investor is 600. Okay? Now, what we want to do is very simple thing, just to deduct the commission and to deduct the interest rates and apply the same equation. It is not that big deal on this. Because in this example we ignore the interest rates and we ignore the commission. Okay? Now we will go to the example and deduct the interest rate and the commission. The investor paid 5% for each transaction in buying and selling. In addition to this, in the margin account, he borrowed 40%, which is the rest of the total value invested by the investor. He borrowed how much? 400. So he borrowed 400. And he will pay 10% as an interest, so $40. Again, he's not exactly borrowed 400.
420.
Because the total amount paid by the investor, considering the margin account plus the commission, it means the investor has to pay the 60% included the commission. Okay? Okay, let's go back to the example and see how things going. Again, the number of shares is 100, buying $10, selling 14. The margin is 60%. Again, what it means 60% is the amount paid or the cash paid by the investors. And the 40%, the rest is paid by the dealer. And the dealer apply the interest paid common in the financial markets. Instead of taking the facilities from the commercial bank or from other banks, you take the facilities from the dealer. The commission is 5%. 5% on the buying and 5% on the selling. Not on, it means on the round trip. Round trip. What it means round trip? Buying and selling. If you know this terminology means buying and selling. Round trip. The interest is 10%. Okay. Now, when he or she buy at 1,000. Okay? But the investor has to pay the commission. The commission is 5%. 5% times 1,000, it's $50 plus the 1,000. So the total amount paid by the investor is 1,050. How we do this in Excel? Very simple. Just 1,000 times 1 plus the commission rates, you end up with 1,050. This is in the buying. We don't have problems in buying because we pay the commission. But some students, they get confused in the selling. Because in the selling, the commission is deducted from the amount, from the selling amount. Okay. It's sorted now. We don't have problems in how the 1,050 how is calculated. For the sales, now when you sell the house, for instance, so you receive a commission or you pay the commission. Please pay attention in here. If you sell the house at $10,000 and the dealer asking you to give him $100 as a commission, do you think you will receive 10,100? No, definitely no. You will receive 10,000 minus 100 because you paid out the commission. You paid out the commission to the dealer. Okay, it is the same meaning. Now for the selling price, because you receive 14 times 100, you have 1,400. If there is no commission, you will receive 1,400. But because of the commission is 5%, which is $70. 1,400 minus $70, you have 1,030. 33. Oh, sorry, 1,330. Okay, you can do it in Excel. It's very simple. Just 1,400. The number of shares times the selling price. Okay, times 1 minus the commission. 1,400 times 0.95. You have 1,330. Okay? It's fine? Any problem? Any question? No? Okay. And your calculator is saying same things? Okay? Please double check your calculator. It could say some other things. Please. Check your calculator. Because why I'm asking, because some students say, oh, my calculator is saying different. But the problem is in using the calculator. This is the problem. So be careful. Okay? Hello? Ask me, please. Okay, so it's fine. We know about this. We know about this. Now, why this is 0? Because cash. We don't pay. We don't use loan. Now 420. So from where we get this number? Let's go back to the buying price is 1,000. So the buying price is 1,050, and the margin is 60%. Okay. Times 60% times 1,050. 630. This is 630. Okay. 630 is paid cash. Now, how much we loaned from the dealer?
420.
Is 1,050 minus 630. 420. I think you're good in calculation. Now, the 420 is paid by the investor, paid by the dealer. Okay, so we know from where we get this number. The loan, it's fine. Now the interest. The cash account pays 0 interest because we don't use the facilities of the dealer. 0. But the 42 is 10% times the 420. We have 40. We have to pay the interest as $420. Okay, so it's clear. The dividends is the dividends. So the both two accounts, the cash account or margin account, will receive the dividends. Okay, so we know. This is the initial investments. The initial investment is 1,050 for the cash account because the investor paid 1,050, the original payment by the investors. And based on this, we will calculate the return on investments. Be careful. What is the initial investments paid by the investor? As you remember when I talk about the initial investment. We calculate the return on investment based on the initial amount paid by the investors. The initial amount in the cash account paid by the investor is 1,050. But the initial amount paid by the investor in the margin account is 630. The return on investments will be calculated based on the 1,050 for the cash account and 630 for the margin account. Don't forget this. The initial investment return, if you look at the return, this is return on investment. The return on investment. On investment. Okay, so this is the return on investment. How we calculate the return on investment? This is a very important. Okay. Let's go back to the main equation. What the equation saying? B1 minus P naught
Over P naught.
plus dividends divided by B naught. Okay, let's start by the easiest one, the cash account. What is the B1? 1,330 minus B naught 1,050. Okay, plus 100 as a dividends divided by 1,050. Please do your calculation. Please do your calculation. You have
36.
Please look carefully at your calculator, please. Again, in your exam, your calculator, it may not look nice. You may get confused in using your calculator. And the problem is because you are not get used to use the calculator. This problem. Some students, I know some students, use the calculator only in the exams. And sometimes they borrow the calculator from their neighbors. And your neighbor calculator is not doing well. So please, be careful. You don't need to lose your marks because of the calculator. Okay? So, again, this is for the cash account. Let's to calculate the margin account. The same things. Okay? There's no change in the... Okay, 1,330 minus 1,050 plus I. Are you sure this is right? Minus interest. Be careful. Because here we have to pay the interest. Minus the interest, which is 42. Which is 42, yes? Okay. So it's like this. Divided. The initial amount paid by the investors is $630. Do your calculator, please. Do your calculation, please. I need the students on the back. Please do your calculator. Double check. Because I don't need tears in the exams. Wallah.
60.
Double check. Do it again.
لا مش 60.
Some people saying it's wrong. It is 53. What you observe in the answer? The return on investment in the margin account is higher than the return on investment in cash accounts because we are using leverage account. What it means leverage, we are using debts. We use debt in this. Okay? Now, look at this number, 68%. This one, the margin account. We said that the margin account at startup of the investment was 60%. Okay? Why it is now 68%?
Because of the commission and the interest.
Sorry?
The commission.
No? He started with 60%. Now it is 68%. So the amount paid by the investors is increased.
Because of the return.
Because of the commission. If because of the commission, it will go below the 60%. Be careful. 60% is the amount paid by the investor. In this case, the amount paid by the investors increased. But in reality, the investor has no payment, no additional payment. So why there is increase in the 60%? Why it is 68%? Okay.
Doctor, when prices go up, the initial investment paid by the investor increased, so the margin amount is increased.
Okay. We need further explanation.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the buying power of the initial investment will increase.
Sorry, say it again.
The buying power of the initial investment will increase.
Yes, the buying power. My question is, from where the buying power coming from?
Increasing price.
Sorry? Increasing the price. What it means when the price increase?
Inflation.
It generates profits. And when it generates profits, it's adding to the investor account. So it means the investor pay or reinvest the profits. Be careful. It means, look at the $10. He paid when the price was $10. Now the price is $14. The investor has $4 as increasing in the price. If we deduct the commission and the interest rate, he has around $3 and $3.50. This $3.50 is reinvested by the investor. It's adding up to the account. Okay? In other meaning, it's like the investor paid from his profits into his account. He reinvests the profits. Again, he reinvests the profit. He's not taking out the profits. The $4 or the $3, whatever is not taking out from the initial investment. It's adding to the initial investment, and it means the 8% increase is coming from the profits. Okay, let's go back to the question, and let's to decrease the price below $10. What we will observe, the margin will go below the 60%. It means the investor lose from his initial investment. It's like paying out from his cash account to the losing account. Okay, let's go and see how things going in the... Okay, $14. The price go down below $10, $9. Look at the margin. What is the margin? 50. How much he lose in this account? 10%. 10% because what? Because the price go down. Okay? Let's make the price to go down and see what is the behavior of dealer. The price is $9. Now the price is $7. Look at the return on investment. The return on investments is minus 50%. What it means? It means he lost 50% from his cash account. You know how much he lost in this case? Anyone knows? In dollar amount. Approximately how much?
525.
500. Are you sure for 500? Sorry? 30? No. Definitely no. How much this investor lost? 300, yes. Because the initial investment is 600. His return on investment goes to the 50%, minus 50%. He lost half of his wealth. And half of his wealth is approximately $300. Because he paid $600. But look at the return on investment he lost 27%. How much he lost in dollar accounts?
270.
Are you sure? Because 1,050. Do the calculation then.
283.
Yes, 283.
203. 83. Around 300 then. Okay? But which one is in worse off? In the worse off? The margin. Again, we can conclude them. The margin account maximize the return.
And the loss.
Yeah, and maximize the loss. Which holding more risk? The margin account. Okay. My question is, do you think the dealer waiting for you to lose all your money?
No.
When the price goes to the 7, you lost 50% of your wealth. Okay, if the price goes to $5, you lost 82% of your wealth. Again, do you think the dealer just keep like this and looking at your... It is unethics. So the dealer saying to you, please, okay, switch the game. But if switching the game off needs a particular procedures from the dealer. The dealer has to follow a particular procedure. What are these procedures? It's first starting by the margin call. What it means margin call, when the price goes to a particular limit, the dealer will call you, texting you or calling you by phone or sending you email or whatever. At this price, you expect to receive a margin call. Margin call. At this margin call, what you should do, you may add the new cash or sell a portion of your security to strengthen your account. Okay, or to feed up your account with a new cash. Okay? If you don't listen to your dealer,
You will
what the dealer will do?
switch off.
Liquidate your account. At what price the dealer will liquidate your account? At maintenance margin. At maintenance margin. Now we will calculate at what price you may receive a margin call. Okay? And before this margin call, the dealer may send you a message saying to you, please be careful. You are close to the margin account, to the maintenance margin. Be careful. Just, be with us and have the attention with us. You may receive a margin, or you may receive a text message from us asking you to add up new cash or asking to liquidate a portion of your stocks. How we calculate the price then? It's very simple. So the price at which we will receive a margin call is equal to the borrowing amount divided by 1 minus the maintenance margin. Okay? It's very simple. The borrowed amount per share. We borrowed 420 for 100 shares, just divided by 100. Okay? Divided 1 minus maintenance margin. The maintenance margin is 35%, so 0.35%. Considering that the 420 included the interest. If the maintenance, is not included, they just apply this equation, 400 divided by 100, 1 minus 0.35. Please do the calculation for the two equations.
First is
6.15. Okay? Be careful of the fractions.
6.46.
6.46. At price 6.46, you will receive a margin call. And if you don't listen, well, closed or liquidated. Now, if the price is liquidated, or if the account is liquidated, how much you will receive?
The first your initial
630?
لازم اول شيء اسد اللون لازم ارجع اللون بعدين اللون
Yeah, how much? Do your calculation, please. And tell me if the investor closes his account at the price 6.46. How much he will receive? 246.
26
Huh? 26. I would put the 6.46. Okay, you say 6.46. 154. Okay, this is the price. Please do the calculation to calculate the return on investment at this price. What is the return on investment? And what you observe, it's a magic. What you observe.
He lost.
Hmm?
Lost.
How much he lost? At the 6.46. When the price 6.46, how much you will? Return on investment, how much? No, it's very simple. The return on investment minus 60%. He lost 60% from his cash. If you times 60% times the initial investment, which is 630, times 60% times 630, how much? 378. 300. He lost 378. How much he will receive then? This is another way to calculate how much he will receive. How much he will receive? He lost the 378. How much he will receive? The rest, how much?
42.
252. Okay? Considering the commission and the interest and blah, 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 blah. Okay? I have very little question. Very, very little question. Okay? I have very little question. If the dealer changed his policy and telling the investors the maintenance margin will be at 40%. What's the implication of the 40% on the price? The dealer will ask the investor earlier for the add cash or later?
It becomes 7.
What it means? Earlier or later? The maintenance margin is 40%. It was 35.
Earlier.
It's earlier.
Yes.
Can you do the calculation and tell me at what price? $7. So at $7, the investor will receive a margin call. There is a positive relation between the maintenance margin and the margin, the price at which we are asking for a margin call. If we increase the maintenance margin, the price at which making a margin call will increase. When it was 35%, we asking at 6.45. But when the maintenance margin 40%, we asking at $7. Okay, do it at 50%. Yes. What we observe, 8.4. What we observe? We observe the maintenance margin is a policy. Is a policy using by the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States. If they want to do expansion and to encourage people to use the margin accounts, in this case, they decrease the maintenance margin. Okay? And if they want to close the markets or to narrow the markets, so they increase the maintenance margin. Okay? So it's like a monetary policy or a policy, advanced policy using by the dealer. Okay, dealer translates what the government wants. Because the maintenance margin and the margin account is supervised by the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States. Okay, so the dealers are not free to set the maintenance margin, either the maintenance margin or the margin account. Is supervised by the central bank or the reserve banks in the countries, in Jordan or in Dubai or in the United States, in UK, and Central Bank of Japan or any central bank. They observe because this is influence on the investment environments. If we make the at 20%, so people are more relaxed. People using more facilities in this case. Look at in the margin. If the margin if the margin, I talk now about the margin. If the margin is going less than 60%, consider 40%. What it means? From the investment point of view.
البرايس راح يزيد. المارجن المينتنس البرايس راح يزيد.
Definitely no.
The price going down.
So how the price influenced by the... My question, I have very, very little question. If the central bank or the reserve bank decide to decrease the margin account, the margin percentage to 40% or to 20%.
This return and loss.
This is not the accurate answer. What is the implication on the investments?
Initial investment is less than.
What it means? When the initial investment decrease. Okay. So, what about the investment environment? Okay. Put it this way. If the margin account, if the margin decrease, the amount available to investors to invest is increased. It means indirectly the central bank want to encourage the investment. But if the central bank decide to increase the margin to 80%, it means the central bank want to discourage the investment. Okay? Okay, look at the, we want to change this 60% margin, do it 40%. And see, observe the changes. Observe the changes. The changes, how much the initial investments? 420. Okay? Do it 30%. How much the investor paid? 315. Think in this way. If the investors has $1,000, how many stocks he will buy? I think this is complicated or above your head. If the investor has $1,000, how much he will invest? $1,000, he will invest 3 times of this. 3 times. Because 300, 3 times. Okay, let's go back and do it 60%. If he has $1,000, how much he will invest? 1.5 or 1 1/3. But if the government decide to do it 30%, it means the $1,000 may invested 3 times greater than the 60%. It means the more facilities to the investor to invest their money, because they were loaned from the dealer. They have more money to invest. Okay? Do you understand what I mean? Okay. If you have $1,000 and the initial investment or the margin was $100. Look at. I paid. How much you have to pay? 1,050. Okay? It means how many stocks you will buy? Only 100. Okay? Let's decrease the margin. 80%. How much you will pay? 840. And you have 260. You can invest the 260. Okay? Now, let's do it 60%. You have to pay 630. And you have 370. 370, you can invest them. You have more option to invest. Okay, do it 40%, the margin. Now you have to pay 420. You can double your investment. Okay, do it 20%. 4 times. You can invest, you can buy 400 stocks. Okay? Did you make your minds up? Okay? So in this, the margin account is using as a policy from the Federal Reserve Bank or from any central bank. Okay? Please, do you understand what I said? Okay? No? Okay. If you don't understand, go back to your textbook and you can ask your neighbor. I think she understands. Okay? Yeah, I know. And we will carry on. Next meeting, I will talk about the short selling. And please read the margin account carefully, because I will link the short selling with the margin account. I will link the short selling with the margin account and with the spread. So all of them together will be in the next meeting. If you don't understand the previous meetings, it means you will not understand the next meeting.